how to be not taken for granted and to become a person of value in the eyes of the people around you. All this and more coming up in this video. I'll be breaking down the core reason why people aren't taking you seriously and how you can go about shifting this to become a person whom people respect. So you don't want to be taken for granted and you want people to take you more seriously in different relationships that you have in your life. Today I'm going to break it down and tell you exactly what you need to shift. Hey self-helper, it's important to make sure that we aren't taken for granted in any relationship that we have. This is primarily because of two reasons. Number one, we don't value ourselves enough. And number two, the other person doesn't value us. That breaks it down to two important groups of people that we need to consider when we think about value. When you look at group number one, your inner circle, the people whom you are closest to, your friends and family members, you're really close to these people. Their opinion of you matters and your opinion of them matters as well. So it's a symbiotic relationship. You give and you take. These are the people whose opinion truly matters to you, and you don't want to be taken for granted by these people. Now, if you're looking at the other group number two, these are the people who are outside of your friend circle. Remember that these are the people who do not play a regular role in your life. These are acquaintances, Facebook friends, with whom you have to really maintain a persona. They don't really affect your life on a day-to-day basis. They're just there. So these are the people that you don't really have to be too concerned about. So that's a whole different topic. I would suggest you watch this video on people pleasing and get the record straight with that, because people pleasing is a big issue that we all deal with and it's not required. And I'm going to break down exactly why you don't have to suffer that in that video. So go check that out. Now, on the other hand, your inner circle, your friends and family members whose opinion matters, that you don't want to be taken granted for, that you value, those are the relationships that I'm talking about. Be it romantic, intimate, or any other kind of relationship, these people play a very important role in our lives. And it's because of these two primary reasons that I've just mentioned that you aren't really enjoying the relationship, that you are being taken for granted. Number one, that you don't value yourself. That's right, you don't value yourself enough. You don't have that self-love that is so important, because in any relationship, if you do not value yourself, if you don't love yourself, how can you expect other people to love you? Think about that and tell me in the comment section below if this is happening to you. Remember that there are a variety of things that lead up to this, but one of the primary reasons why we fail to come out of this situation, that we are taken for granted and that we're okay with it, is because of this. In this book, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he talks about how we fail to question authority while growing up. And this is because we have not been taught how to do it. That while growing up, our parents are supposed to show us when things are not okay, that we have to question, we have to ask ourselves and tell the other person that we are not okay with this and I'm going to do something about it. There's a very interesting story in the book that talks about how these two kinds of people, the lower socioeconomic background people, they fail to question authority, while the people who come from middle class and higher class backgrounds, these are the people who actually go about questioning authority. Now, this mother goes with her son to the dentist and she tells her son, don't question the doctor too much, don't ask any silly questions. Now, this boy may be genuinely concerned about his dental health and may have questions for the doctor. And what does he do? He follows exactly what his mother told him. And her mother would have told her not to question authority and ask questions. The way things are, that's how they are. This is one of the primary reasons why the poor stay poorer and why the rich get richer. Now, on this end of the spectrum, these people, the mother and the son, they go and do the exact same thing. They go to the dentist. But the thing is, here the mother tells her son, go and tell the doctor whatever you need to tell him, and ask him questions about what you have concerns about. If you have a toothache, tell him about it. If you want to ask him about the kinds of foods you can eat or can't eat, ask him about it. So this shaping happens from a very young age, and it happens from generation to generation. If your parents have taught you not to settle, to question, then it's very likely that you follow up with that. You carry on that tradition of questioning people that do things to you that you're not okay with. So it's all about being comfortable with the state we're in. So more on that in this book called Outliers. I'll link it up for you in the description box below. So go read that book. It's a must read, a beautiful book. So why do we suffer like this in our relationships? We need to remember that there are two primary reasons among the people whom we care about. That's why we continually behave in this way, that we allow them to take us for granted, that they don't take our opinion seriously. It's because of these two reasons, and that has a core reason beneath it. It's because we do not want to offend the person in some way, and that offending them may cause, it might put a dampener on the relationship. It may affect how things are going right now, and you don't want that to change. The second reason is because offending them actually hurts you more than it does them. Offending them hurts you a lot more than it hurts them. Why do we do this to ourselves? It's because we're comfortable. We don't want to get out of this state wherein I might cause more pain to the other person, and causing pain to the other person where I don't question what they're doing to me, that is very painful. So inflicting pain upon them is in fact inflicting pain upon myself, and I don't want to go through with that. That's why we let things continue the way they are. I was talking about the core reason why this happens. The core reason is because of two fears that we have with every single person. One, it's the fear of rejection. We fear that that person is going to reject us. They won't view us in the same way ever again. For example, a boy who is really close to a girl. The boy wants to be in a romantic relationship with that girl, but the girl doesn't want to have anything romantic to do with this guy because she has already placed him in a role in her life that he plays only the role of a friend. She doesn't view him any differently. Now again, you need to consider whether this person is genuinely not taking you seriously or it's just in your head. So think about that. Is this person whom you're worried about, are they not taking you seriously because it's just your perspective, or are they genuinely not taking you seriously? Are they doing something that is seriously wrong? That you aren't being valued enough? Think about that. Either it's going to be a fear of rejection, or it's going to be fear of shame. That being rejected by the other person, I end up feeling miserable, which is the fear of shame. By doing something that may cause the other person pain, someone whom I deeply care about, that inadvertently affects me and how I feel about the situation. So I feel shamed. I feel like I have shamed the other person by telling them about what I truly feel. These are the two core reasons why we allow things to fly, that we allow ourselves to be not taken seriously in any relationship that we're in. Think about this very, very seriously. Are you a victim of this, where you're not being taken seriously because you're afraid of either rejection or you're afraid of shame? You're afraid that the other person may be hurt by you saying something that you may offend them in some way. Consider that. If you want to change the situation, you need to go about doing something. You have to do things differently, otherwise things are going to continue the way they are going. What do you need to do? Start with this. The most important thing, start loving yourself more. Start respecting yourself. Start having a sense of entitlement. View yourself as someone of value and someone who has to be taken seriously in the other person's eyes. That Don't be as free as you normally are. Don't be as available. Be viewed as someone who deserves respect. And how do you do that? You shape yourself, you take action, you behave very differently so that the other person sees that. When you are offended by the other person, you don't stand for that offense. You immediately correct that behavior. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to disrespect the other person in the process, although they may feel hurt in some instances. But you still go about defeating that inner need that I have to please them, I have to keep them happy. You have to change the way things are going about. Do this. Value yourself more and convey that value by taking significant action and behave very differently whenever they do not respect you and give you the respect that you feel you truly deserve. That's number one. Number two is you do it for yourself. You don't do it because you are compelled to do it by someone else. You're doing it because you want to do it. That it's my desire to actually make this change. So start with I. Start thinking about how you can create that self-love and self-acceptance. And once you make that shift within yourself, immediately the world around you starts to shift. People start to see you very differently. They start to see you with, okay, this person seems to be different. What's brought on that change? I think maybe I should behave differently too, because we are breaking the normal pattern of behavior. And because we break that normal pattern of behavior, immediately things start to change. Regardless of what we do, other people, when they see this consistently enough, then they start to change too. If you can create this mental shift in your mind that I love myself, I truly accept myself for who I am, and regardless of what other people think of me, I will continue to be who I am on the inside, everything changes. Think about that. Consider what this shift can do to your life. If you can really start thinking about how can I value myself a lot more by taking symbolic actions and behaving differently, things start to shift. This works great for boys or girls who have been friend zoned. For a number of years you've been hanging out with this person, you want to tell them how you feel about them. Not the best time to do it or the right way to do it. You start to behave the exact opposite way that the person views you. So when you do that, immediately their perspective of you shifts. You do it consistently enough, and then you work up the courage to tell them what you truly feel, then things start to work out. Because in any relationship, you need to have transparency. You need to tell people what you are not okay with. If you can do this much, then immediately they start to respect you a lot more. And when they start respecting you, you truly feel a lot better about yourself. So make this important shift as soon as possible. Start loving yourself. And if there is someone in your life whom you're not okay with behaving a certain way, let them know. And let me know down in the comment section below if this works for you or not. If you found this video useful, make sure you leave it a thumbs up. Remember that each and every time we are going to encounter different people who are going to take us for granted. If they're in our inner circle, or we want them to be in our inner circle, we value their opinion to an extent, but it doesn't allow us to get damaged. We don't take what they have to say to heart. That's important to consider, because my opinion matters the most, not what someone else says. If we can get into this headspace, it truly makes a difference. Again, love yourself and question authority. Question people when they offend you. More on this topic in the book Outliers. Do check it out. All in all, remember that you are a person of value. You are someone who deserves respect, and make that felt whenever you meet someone for the first time or you're establishing a relationship with somebody. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, because you don't want to miss any videos coming out of my channel. I know it's been a very long video, but it's a very powerful one, because we went down to the core. We tried to figure out exactly what's wrong with your mind. and then we have attempted to fix it. So try all of these tips that I've mentioned in this video. Let me know how it works out for you. This is Vikram signing off, and I'll see you in the next session.